I, so I have been doing quite a bit of stuff this morning. I am, basically it was raining most of the day, so I haven't been able to go out. And I thought, I just want to feel good about myself. And I do. And I really truthfully do. Now, I've been looking in my closet, and I've been going through my clothes. And I've been going through the clothes that I thought would fit, that didn't fit, that might have fit, that would never fit, and I've basically downsized. So I tried on a lot of the outfits that I had when I was really tiny, and guess what? Guess what? They fit. They fit. So I have a few outfits that I haven't worn for years because I was hanging on to them just in case they might someday fit. And now they do. So, yeah, I spent a couple of hours actually going through my clothes, and I have this massive mirror in my bedroom, and I was standing in front of the mirror, and I was kind of like looking, and I was thinking, that didn't look so bad for a woman in her 60s. You're doing okay, girl. You're rocking it. The ego is feeding the ego a little bit, but there were outfits that I found that I really liked and that fit me. There were outfits that fit me from the past when I was a tiny woman before I had the stroke. That would have been 8 years ago. That's how long I hang on to my clothes. 8 years. Anyway, I was a very tiny woman prior to having the stroke. I was not petite, but I was a medium-sized woman. But I had I kept it taut, right? So then I gained all that weight. Now that I've lost the weight, I thought I would have a lot of stretch marks on my stomach, and I don't. And I don't even have like the wrinkles like that I thought I would have. I mean, nobody's perfect. I have a few wrinkles and stretch marks. I just noticed 1 or 2 stretch marks on my breast. Now, I have gone from being, a pretty big, what would you say, well-endowed woman to being very petite and not having a lot, to now being like in my 60s. And, it's kind of like in the middle there, you know what I'm saying? So, so I kind of was taking a long look at my body, and sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to. Even though we don't want to acknowledge the fact that we're getting older, when you look in the mirror, sometimes you have to acknowledge the fact that, maybe you got a few more wrinkles around your eyes, or maybe you got a few more wrinkles around your lip. I wouldn't have had them because I smoked for 47 years. I did this to myself. This was something I did. And so I warn all the women out there, even the young men, I warn you, like I'm telling you, smoking will eventually kill you. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anyone points to in the books, okay, and the information monologues, okay? I don't care. I know. I lived it. I know. My skin was yellow. My teeth were horrible. I mean, I always had white teeth, but my teeth started to get really bad where, I didn't have the spaces before. I didn't have the spaces in my teeth before that I have now. And I have gingivitis now. Now, I could say it's from the amalgam filling, but it could also be, accommodated by or, could account for the fact that I went toward gingivitis. The smoking I did for 8 years. Seriously. What can I say? Anyway, let's get off that negative connotation. So, I spent a couple hours going through my closet, trying on my clothes, looking in the mirror, saying, oh, that looks good, that doesn't look good, right? And, sometimes you need to do that. Sometimes you need to do it. Then I got into the hairstyles. So I want my hair short. Now, when I first started this journey, my hair was fairly long and it was dark. I stopped dyeing it, and it was almost like overnight, it turned white. Yeah. So I have a little bit of dark color left, but yeah, it's white. And I mean white. So I can't go in the pool anymore because it turns it green. Some shampoos that I use, if they have sulfate in them, my hair will turn pink. So I had to make my own. And what I do is I do it holistically. I use coconut oil in my conditioner. I use jojoba oil. I actually buy my conditioner from the East Indian store because their hair is like phenomenally beautiful. And so I follow their tracks, right? Now the shampoo, it's a whole different matter. I did have some discoloration to my hair because my hair will absorb the colors in whatever it is I'm using, whether it's hair oil, whether it's shampoo, conditioner, whatever, it'll absorb those colors. I've had pink hair, orange hair, green hair, blue hair. Finally I said enough's enough. So I found something that actually takes it out. The only problem is it's got a lot of chemicals in it. And that is a very high alkaline dish soap. Dish soap. And I get it from the dollar store. It's the cheapest you can buy. Little tiny bit in your hand will take all that discoloration out. Well, for me it did. So, but I'm still, I'm opting for the organic coconut, I think it's coconut oil shampoo and the conditioner. And I buy that from the East Indian store. So they have various products there. I mean, various products that have been imported. So those are the ones that I want. Those are the ones I want to use because, it just seems that where I am here, when you look at the back of a product list, it's got so many names that you can't even pronounce and so many chemicals. And sulfate is one of the biggest ones. It is the most dangerous product, I think. For me, this is my channel, this is my opinion. Sulfates will literally cause your hair to break. You'll lose your hair eventually over time with the sulfates. So anyhow, what I'm finding now is that my hair is thicker, it's softer, it's more manageable. I mean, look it's so soft. It's so soft. And it's not as frizzy, it's not as, big-headed as it used to be, right? So it's the chemicals that I was putting into my body over a period of time. So I got into some magazines. I was looking at some magazines, looking at some hairstyles and stuff and how to wear those little bandanas that they wear, the bohemian style. I'd love to wear those. I can't seem to get the knack of it because it almost looks like, when I put it on, it almost looks like somebody put a bag. Somebody put a bag on my head. That's what it looks like. So I'm trying to get the knack of that. But there is one that I found that I like. And they have these clips out now that look like you've got a bun, or it looks like you've got like long wispy hair. And what I was thinking is I could wear my hair up like this and then take one of them and put it here and make it look like my hair's a little bit longer. So I'm getting the best of both worlds, right? So, but I haven't found a place where I could buy them in my price range, which free would be nice, but yeah. That's not happening. Anyway, so I've been kind of looking at my style of dress, my style, even the way I interact with people, okay? I'm starting to, everything about me is changing. I feel more confident. I look in the mirror and I like that person looking back at me. I like the size I am. I don't need to have 3 square meals a day with lots of trans fats and lots of breads and lots of meats. I don't need that. I don't. And I'm not starving. I'm healthy. I still sleep right through the night. And I feel better. And I'll tell you, we're going into my favorite time of year. I am a fall baby. I'm a school baby, apparently. That's what my mother told me. So, and I love the fall weather. I love the colors. I like the vibrancy. I like the cool wind. I mean, the summer is a killer for me. Don't forget, I had skin cancer, right? So when the sun comes out, if I get an overabundance of sun, I will break out in those little spots that I have to be concerned about. So I didn't have that problem this year. Thank you. Anyway, so fall is my favorite time of year, but I'm I love the winter also. I just don't like to travel in it, and I don't like the people that I care about having to drive in that weather to go to work or wherever, right? So, because there is a lot of accidents, and the highways do get treacherous. So, but that first snowfall, I love it. I remember when the kids were little and I would take them trick-or-treating, and I would take the car and I would park the car and then I would walk with the kids. Or I remember one time I had the tape cassettes you can get, Yeah, that's how old I am. Anyway, and I'd put it in the car, and it had a tape cassette of spooky sounds and stuff. And I remember playing that full blast as I'm driving down with the kids and stopping, and the kids loved it. The neighborhood kids just loved it, yeah. And I'd be dressed in a clown costume. Seriously, that's how it went. Anyhow, every single solitary Halloween that I can remember, there was always a light dusting of snow that came down, because we were at that cusp, right, where you're going into winter from fall, and every single Halloween night there would be a light sprinkling of snow. And I came to, look forward to it. I came to look forward to taking the kids out trick-or-treating and knowing that eventually we're going to get some snow. And I loved it. There was a little town. I lived close to this little town, and it was near a little tiny kind of like man-made pond, I think. And the houses were kind of like around it, right? Kind of like situated around this little pond. And I remember the vibrant colors. I absolutely loved this little town, loved it. And every Halloween I made a point of taking my kids trick-or-treating in this little tiny village. Well, village town. I think it would be a village. It was really, really small. But, it kind of embeds itself in your memory. And those are the good memories I have of, spending time with my kids and doing activities with them. And, but the fall weather and Halloween night, that was all for my kids. I would decorate up the house. I would always, if I could afford it, I had a costume, or I'd put witch's face on, or a hat, or there was something. But I did have a clown costume one year. I don't even know where I got it. Someone gave it to me, I think. But I did wear it out with the kids, and it was hilarious. It was so hilarious. At the end of the video, I might put a picture, because I think I have a picture of it. But those are the things that I enjoyed doing with my children. But think about it, right? It would be Halloween night, and we'd get a light dusting of snow. Like it was just beautiful. It was absolutely just beautiful. Yeah. So it wasn't too cold, but it was cold enough to get the snow. So we were able to enjoy our time out, and the kids loved it. They used to love the change of seasons. Now that they're older and they have to drive in those change of seasons, that might be a little different, but when they were kids, they got to enjoy that innocence and that freedom, right? So that's a good thing. I still remember myself being a child and going out trick-or-treating with my sister and her friend that lived across the road from us where we lived. And we'd go trick-or-treating. I remember one particular time I got sprayed by a skunk. I got sprayed by a skunk, and I remember, because we were really poor. We were really, really poor. And they used tomato juice, I think, to get the smell off, right? And they used to sell the tomato juice in the big cans, the Heinz big tomato juice. Anyway, I remember, I don't know how my mom did it, but because we were poor. And I remember having to wash with tomato juice. Yeah. I'll never forget it. I was horrified. I remember crying. I remember my siblings laughing at me, but I cried. It was horrifying to me. Yeah, but those are good memories. That I'm having now. And we're getting close to Halloween season for the kids. So that's a little bit of the stuff that I did today, but I'm not going to decorate this year for Halloween, because where I am, we're not allowed to give treats out. The building managers will go to the main lobby, and they will give the treats out instead of the children going from apartment to apartment, which, is dangerous anyway, right? So, but, I do get a little excited. I remember how much fun it was for my kids when they were little, and it kind of just makes me feel good, right? Makes me feel good. So, but I'm not going to decorate this year, but I am going to decorate for Christmas. Now, the religious aspect of Christmas, everybody has their own value system, but the giving part of Christmas, the spiritual aspect of Christmas, where you love your neighbor, where you give to your neighbor, where you help your neighbor, where you're kind and caring and loving, okay? That part of the return or the birth of, whether it be your Savior or whether it be someone else's, okay? The birth of a child on Christmas, okay, is the thought, is the this, what would you call it? The scenario behind Christmas, the meaning of Christmas, okay? For myself, my personal values are my personal values, and I don't intend to, exploit them on my YouTube channel, but the sensation of giving and the feeling of love and caring that come with Christmas, I run with it. And decorating a tree, that doesn't mean any specifics. It means that I am taking pleasure in the beauty of Christmas, okay? The snow is falling, my trees are all lit up. I have lights on them. I have ornaments on them that remind me of people that I loved from my past or from my childhood, or my mom who passed away during the COVID scare, during the lockdowns. My mom passed away. She wasn't able to spend a lot of time with all of her children, and so I have a special bulb that I put on my tree for my mother at Christmas. And whether my connection with my familial roots is strong, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The point is, this individual gave me birth, gave me life, and I love it. I love the physical aspect of life. I love the smell of my coffee in the morning. I love saying hi to my neighbor. I love to see someone smile when you give them a compliment about what they're wearing. I love the physical aspect of life. I love the taste of food a lot. And that's why I have to diet. Anyway, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle change. But what I'm saying is I love the physical aspect of Christmas, okay? The belief pattern, the belief system behind Christmas, my own personal opinion is my personal opinion, okay? So I'm not asking anyone to believe in what I believe in or not believe in what I believe in. I'm just saying that the physical aspect of Christmas is absolutely wonderful. It is beautiful. It is a time of love and a time of giving, and I am all for that. So yeah, Christmas, I'm going to go all out. I'm going to have 2 trees. I'm going to, have presents for individuals under my tree that hopefully I'll get to see this Christmas. So yeah, and I plan Christmas way ahead of time. I really do. I don't decorate yet because there's a whole process to my decorating, and I have all my bins in that closet there. And they are full of my Christmas stuff. So my trees and my ornaments. And I put up a small tree for one of my children who is traveling. And every Christmas, I remember when the kids were in university, and if they weren't able to afford to come home, or if, they weren't able to make that trip because of whatever the reason may be, I always put a bulb on the tree for them. Always. Even if it wasn't, if it was just a bulb, I'd say, well, this bulb is for this individual, and it would go up on the tree, and the thought was there, right? So, and there would always be a present for the individual who was not present at Christmas under the tree. And after Christmas, that present went, wait till I tell you, that present went from under the tree into a box. Well, I had an individual in my life who I absolutely love. I love them all, but anyway, this individual wasn't able to make it home they were out of country, and they weren't able to come home for, it was years. It was like 8 years, 9 years. Every year, they got a gift under the tree. And every year, that gift went from the tree into the box. And sometimes, they would get more than one present, right? So I would think, this person would love this, and so I'd buy it for them way ahead of time. Like I would buy Christmas gifts starting in the summer, seriously, if I seen it on sale. Or, if I was out thrifting and I seen something that was brand new and I thought, they would like that, I bought it, and I put it away. And I was able to afford it back then. I was working. But I remember when that individual did come home, and I pulled out this big box. And this big box was like full of presents right to the top. I think it was 8 or 9 years worth of presents. Yeah. It was a field day watching them open. It was like one after the other, right? So, so those are the joys that I get out of those things, like gift giving and celebrations and holidays. And, growing up, I didn't have... I think the last Christmas that I can remember that I spent with family members, 18 or 19, and I brought a co-worker, another military girl, who was in, I think she was a radar tech. Anyway, that was the last Christmas that I can remember that I came home with that individual. Now, there were Christmases. I mean, don't forget, I signed up when I was 16. I left when I was 17. So I would have had 2 Christmases with my real family, my nuclear family. Not my children, but my brothers, my mother, my siblings, right? So 2 Christmases that I remembered spending with my family. And after that, up until now, I haven't spent a single solitary Christmas with a nuclear family of mine, my nuclear family. Not one since I think I was 18 was the last time that I spent that Christmas. And I don't want to be negative, but things that you remember, right? So this is a day of remembering for me, and trying on outfits and checking out my hair and fixing myself look pretty and blah blah blah, all that shit, right? So it's part of that healing process. And the last thing that I remember, and I was a big girl because when I first graduated from basic training, I had gone really small and very taunt, very muscular. And, but I was tiny. And then over a period of time, military, right? The booze is cheap. I drank a lot. I ate good. I mean, I had 3 squares a day and worked hard. And so I gained a little bit of weight. And I remember back in those days, there was, I don't even want to tell you. I don't even want to tell you, but I'm gonna be honest. So, I had a pair of those black satin pants. Okay, I'm like, it was in the 70s. Okay, so anyway, black satin pants, and they had a drawstring, and I was really well endowed, but I also had a big chunk of change right here. Let's show you where it's not there anymore. I had a chunk of change, big one right there. So. And my hair was really short, and my hair is curly, but it was a bad cut. And so it kind of went, right? So I had this bad haircut. I was overweight. I had these satin pants on. I had a bright red kind of like smock top that kind of, because I was well endowed, the smock top went out really big and made me look obese. Yeah. So, I mean, it wasn't the best look I've ever had. But I had a family member who was horrible. This individual was so horrible to me. Horrible speaking. I was called fat. I was called stupid. Maybe this individual wouldn't remember saying it to me, but I remember it. And I remember crying that Christmas because I had picked up a piece. And here's another thing. I had a freaking flower in my hair. So I had hair up to here, and I put this big pink flower in my hair. I don't know where I got the idea from. Anyhow, I had this big flower in my hair. My hair was really short. I was massively big. I had this bright red smock top that made me look 20 times bigger than I was. And I had these black satin pants on. And I had a pair of wedges on. The old platform shoes, right? So I did. I mean, when I look at the picture now, I'm like, oh, I'm horrified. I'm just horrified. But this individual was there. And I had always looked up to this person because they were, I thought, in my eyes, they were beautiful. They had beautiful hair, beautiful eye colors, completely the opposite of me. I mean, I was informed as a child that I looked like an old man. And so, yeah, when you were born, I thought you looked like an old man, and it was like the big joke, right? Yeah. Anyway, this individual says to me, I had picked up a piece of cake or something. There was treats. It was Christmas, right? And I picked up a little piece of cake, and this individual looked me in the face, and you know what they said to me? She said to me, and I hope she sees this video. Karma has a way of coming back. Always does. Always. Yeah. And it's not good to laugh about somebody who gets their karma. It really isn't. But, it's kind of hard not to. But it was heartbreaking. This individual said to me, "Do you really think you should eat that? Don't you think you're fat enough?" Yeah. That was my Christmas wish from this individual who at one point in time in my life I looked up to. Yeah. I was so hurt. I remember being so hurt, and I went upstairs and I changed out of the outfit I was wearing, took the flour out of my hair, and I put on a pair of jeans, and I remember it was a military sweatshirt that I had bought. So it was baggy, and I hid myself, yeah. And I don't remember the rest of Christmas. I really don't. And I do remember what I got as a present from these individuals. For Christmas, a Christmas gift. I got a set of luggage. Not luggage, but a suitcase. One suitcase. I got one suitcase. And to me, it was kind of like saying, here's your suitcase, now go travel. Yeah, it was like, we don't want to see you anymore, there's your suitcase, off you go, right? That's how I felt. And the insult stayed with me. I am 64 years old. And you know what? I love my age. I love myself. I'm happy with who I am. But 64 years old, and I have held on to that comment for over 50 years. Yeah. Over 50 years. Well, hang on. So 50, I'm 64, so no, I wouldn't have been 14. I was 18, right? So, I have held on to it for so long that it's almost ingrained. It's ingrained in my memory. I don't think I could ever forget that comment. And, that's not the first comment that I got all through the years growing up, okay? So, but this year, 2024, this year is about releasing those negative energies. It's about changing my life, changing my attitude, changing my communications, changing my look, changing my beliefs, changing my pattern in my life. I was addicted, literally addicted to people who treated me like feces. Excuse the word, but I can't say the other word. Okay, I can, but I'm not gonna. They treated me horribly. I was meant to believe that I wasn't good enough. I was meant to believe I was treated like I wasn't good enough. I didn't have, when I remember being in the military and getting a phone call from a family member saying that the wife just had a baby. We wanted you to know. And I felt so important. I felt so important on that. Someone cares, right? Someone cares. Someone told me how important I was. Because they told me that information. Yeah. But that was it. That was a one and only time. Yeah. And it wasn't even really, I don't even think this individual was, I think the person who told me, she was a family member, but she wasn't a blood connection, okay? So it would have been someone who was married to a family member. And they went out of their way to make sure that I knew that there was a new child born. I was so happy. I was so, so happy. That's as far as it went, right? And then, years went by and that connection was lost. So I don't really have a close familial tie with anyone from the past. Anyone, at all. And I'm good. I'm good with that. Everybody has their own thought process. Everybody has their own healing process. Everybody, what can I say? I am the odd one out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm good with that. I'm so good with that. So I don't have anyone that calls me up and wishes me Merry Christmas or Happy Halloween or anything like that. That is from my youth. But my children and my grandchildren, they suffice. They do that for me. They give me that feeling of belonging. And that's, I've gone my whole life wanting to belong to something. And so I went to Girl Guides. I went to Rangers. I went to Brownies. I went to geez, every group I joined, I went with that specific need. I wanted to belong, okay? I wanted to belong. I wanted to belong to something. I wanted to have that belief of something, okay? And so I gathered it, I garnered it from the groups that I joined. In high school, I joined sports teams. I even got into high jumping, like seriously. Yeah, can you believe that? Yeah, I did. And I was pretty good at it. I went head to head with the very last contestant in high jump competition, and she was the best in the school. She was like, this girl could do a cartwheel just like nobody's business. Me, I have a hard time doing a somersault. But I got into high jumping, and I made it to the finals against this girl. She won. Yeah. The very last try, I hit the pole and down it went, and she won, but I made it that far because I believed in myself. Just like now, okay? I believed in myself. I was 200 pounds. I went down to, now I'm 100, I think I'm 127. I still haven't been able to maintain 126, but I'm cool with that. 127, that's pretty damn good. So went from 200 pounds to 127, right? Pat myself on the back, right? I'm fighting periodontal disease. Pat myself on the back. I haven't lost them yet. So I'm hanging on as tight as I can. I am healthier than I've ever been. I walk every day, weather permitting, 8 kilometers. That's twice of my route. So yeah, I have determination, I have perseverance. And today was just kind of like a boring day. It was a quiet day. I was feeling a little bit hard on myself. And then, I did that little hour where I was like looking in the mirror, changing my clothes, saying, oh my goodness, look at that. That doesn't look too bad, right? And I fed my ego. Yeah, I needed to. And sometimes we all need to. We all need to look in that mirror and say, you know what? I like you. I like this about you. I like your smile. I like your eyes. I like your eyes when they twinkle when you're laughing. I like that smile when you sporadically just kind of come out of the blue and you're laughing your head off, right? Watching a show on TV with some friends the one day, and we seen something on television and we were just howling. That's how funny it was. And I love that spontaneity in my life. I love the person that I've become at 64 years of age. I love this individual. You can't tell me anything negative about myself, because you know what? It took me so long to get to this point where I love that person looking back at me in the mirror. And there was many years where I didn't. Yeah. I wasn't important to anyone at all. Nobody. No. So I am now. I love myself now. I've finally got to the point where, you know what, I'm not going to put up with any crap, okay? I'm not going to put up with you telling me that I shouldn't have that piece of cake because I'm too fat. I won't put up with it. I won't put up with it. Trust me. I won't. So if anyone in my life, okay, wanted to cross those boundaries with me now in my 60s, I don't think they'd like what they get back. I don't think they'd appreciate it. And you know what? I have relaxed quite a bit. I used to have a pretty bad temper, and I would fist a cuff with whoever stepped in front of my face. And I've done it. I've done it many times, whether it be male or female. Back in the day, I was a pretty good scrapper. Yeah. I've toned it down quite considerably. And I love the person I've become. I love this person. I'm caring, I'm kind, I'm persevering, I'm determined, I'm happy. Took a long time to get here. I went through some illness. I went through some heartache. I lost family members that I loved dearly. I even lost relationships with family members that were important to me. And not through death, just through, third-party crap. Yeah. So this video is kind of like just showing you that, you know what, sometimes we need to feed our ego, And it doesn't mean that you're egotistical or that you think you're better than anybody. You know what? You are. You are a good person. You are important. And you need to love yourself. Now, I'm not saying you're more important than someone else, but you are important. And they're important. And you're important. And the other person's important. It's not a monopoly. It's not.